innovation, research, management, and community service. As an incorporated public university, ITS has been able to manage autonomously the policy of academics, organizations, finance, students' affairs, human resources, facilities, operational, and infrastructure.
In the spirit of Indonesian heroes, during the battle in the 10th of November 1945, ITS always makes efforts to be the best in education, research, and community services, especially in the fields of industry and maritime. ITS also actively contributes to the nation development, and in the future, ITS will become an entrepreneurial university with world-class reputation.
ITS has many achievements. Both national and international achievements prove that ITS keeps growing and gives the best contribution to the nation of Indonesia. ITS is a place for new hopes to grow. An ideal environment for the new generation to flourish in three strategic locations within the industrial city of Surabaya. As a smart eco-campus, ITS maintains harmony between technological advances and the sustainability of the surrounding ecosystem. ITS has 7 faculties with prospective scientific fields, including scientists, INSIS, vocation, creatives, MarTech, electives, plan. ITS is a space for the new generation who are hungry for knowledge because it provides a wide range of references in both physical and digital forms.
Ada suara ya.
For both spiritual and physical needs. ITS also provides research facilities in the ITS Science Technopark, including ICT and robotics, automotive, maritime, and creative industries. Therefore, the excellent generations from ITS will emerge and make history. ITS is a space for the new generation to express themselves. ITS is a place where the new generation learns new things and finds their purpose. ITS has become a place where the new generations that carry the future will be born.
ITS is a campus of science and technology, which focuses on the research and innovation, presenting technology for prosperity.
With a spirit of heroism, ITS brings the future before us. ITS, the University of Heroes.
Keep being curious, solve many mysteries, and create various technologies. Humans continue to evolve, build ourselves and our surroundings in their way, collaborate with different expertise to bring novelties. Postgraduate programs of ITS, a place where research and innovation open our future.
Institute of Technology 10 November is one of the best higher education institutions in Indonesia that accommodates many fields of knowledge for the development of science and technology, contributing to the advancement of industry and society. ITS offers many master and doctoral programs that facilitate students as early career researchers to deepen their expertise. As a higher education institution with a research orientation, ITS is committed to providing the best learning experience and atmosphere for all students to become expert in their field.
There are many ways for us to learn. We get to know the world we live in more closely by looking around. It helps us to grow our curiosity.
ITS is the best place for us to explore things we are interested in, such as science, management, information technology, and maritime engineering. ITS is facilitated with sophisticated laboratories and research equipment for various research projects. In ITS, we are able to express our idea and transform ourselves to be an expert.
There are many things that we can do to develop ourselves. Confidence to start is needed to transform the idea into real things. We can explore further through the technology around us. Also, we can improve ourselves to become better individuals.
ITAs gave us the opportunity to expand our connections with people from other countries. Besides being able to deepen our knowledge, we made friends with various backgrounds. We were able to exchange ideas and discuss the topics we researched together. We also got assistance from competent experts in fields that match our research topics, helping us to achieve an objective research with validated data.
There are many goals that we can achieve. Let us show who we are and discover the things that we have been looking for in life.
ITS is one of the points where we start a profession that has more impact on society. Many experiments we do to better understand the problems we want to solve. We explore things that are very useful in managing a realist industry. So we are very motivated to have a hand in bringing about change for the better.
There are many paths where we can walk together. Even if not all ways are easy, there will be times when we can achieve our goals. The goals for us who keep curious. For us who want to innovate. For us who continue to evolve. Postgraduate programs of ITS. World-class research university.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, before we start commence the program, and here are the following webinar protocol. For each participant ID, please use your real name following with your origin of institution. All of participants are expected to mute the audio and only unmute the video during the event. We cordially invite you to take your own firm and comfort seat in your own room, and please avoid the backlight. Make sure that you have a good and stable internet connection. If you have an earphone or headset, we recommend you to use it so that your voice can clearly and loudly to be heard. During the Q&A discussion session, all participants, please use the chat box to deliver the questions. Thank you for your cooperation and consideration.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining our event today, Researcher and Research Student Enrichment Program for Science Stream, or usually we call it by R2SEP. Before we start our agenda today, I will read out the information which is important to all attendants. First, please fill the attendance form on the provided link, which will be shared in the Zoom chat room by our committees. The link will be closed in 15 minutes. Second, please fill the feedback form, which will be shared in the Zoom chat room 15 minutes before the session ends, and it will be closed after 1 hour. Third, the attendance and feedbacks are compulsory for these purposes. Attendance is mandatory for the new ITS master and doctoral students. Certificate of participation, which is eligible only for international participants who have 60% attendance or minimum 5 meetings. It is for stamp for it, which is eligible only for ITS undergraduate students. Participants who wish to ask questions during the Q&A session, please send your question at the provided link in the Zoom chat room, or alternatively, you may raise your hand during the Q&A session to ask your question directly. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to the Researcher and Research Student Enrichment Program for Science Stream. Today, Thursday, 25th November 2021. I'm Dewi from ITS Postgraduate Office, and I will be your Master of Ceremony for this session. Before we start the session, allow me to inform you our today's agenda as follows. For the first agenda is the opening by MC, continued by the introduction to the moderator and also the speaker. After that, we will get to the main agenda, the lecture session, then followed by the Q&A session, and it will be ended with conclusion and closing. And then again, I would like to remind you to fill your attendance form shared through the provided link in the Zoom chat room, which will be closed in 15 minutes from now. Okay. Before we moving to the next agenda, please allow me to elaborate about today's lecture. Today's lecture theme in R2SEP for Science stream is about getting published, which will be delivered by our speaker, Dr. Mubarak Ali Dafud Basha from B.S. Abdurrahman Crescent Institute of Science and Technology, Chennai, India. And Ms. Nova Maulidina Ashuri, MSI from ITS, who will be the one conducting our today's session as our moderator. So let me introduce you to our moderator today. Our moderator today, Ms. Nova Maulidina Ashuri, MSI, is graduated from ITS with the Bachelor of Science in Biology and from Universitas Indonesia with Master of Science in Biology as well. Currently, she is a researcher and lecturer at the Department of Biology of ITS. Her research interests are in biology conservation, fisheries, and also aquaculture. So without further ado, let's proceed to the main agenda. To Ms. Nova as our moderator today, the time is yours.
Thank you very much, Mbak Dewi Sartika, for the nice introduction. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I would like to spend a couple minutes first to greet our great speaker today. Hello, Dr. Mubarak. How do you do today? Doctor, can you hear my voice clearly?
Yes.
Good afternoon. How do you do? How?
Voice is breaking. Voice is breaking.
Please wait a second. Ms. Nova, I think your voice is breaking.
Yeah, I would like. So this is a very, very interesting topic who everyone need to get published to finish, especially for the study or after have a research have to publish. So can share the idea regarding quality and standard of the research work. Okay, before we start, I would like to read the brief profile from Dr. Mubarak Ali, PhD. The educational background from Dr. Mubarak is for the bachelor degree in microbiology at 2006 in Periyar University, Salem, Tamil Nadu, India. And then for the master degree in science microbiology at 2008 in Bharathidasan University, Tirusirapalli, Tamil Nadu, also in India. And for the PhD, also as well in microbiology at 2012 in Bharathidasan University as well in India. And for academic and professional experience, he is an assistant professor from 2018 until now. He is a School of Life Science, BS Abdurrahman Crescent Institute of Science and Technology, India. And the research interest of Dr. Mubarak Ali is microalga biotechnology, molecular taxonomy, microbial repository, and then microbiome, microbial value added product, and material synthesis and characterization nanocatalyst. Okay, not wait for the long time, so maybe it's directly I will hand over the time to Dr. Mubarak Ali to share about his very great lecturer about how to get published. Okay, Dr. Mubarak, time is yours.
Thank you so much, moderator, for excellent introduction about me. I'm audible now?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Yes. So can you stop share, then I can share my screen?
Okay.
Please wait for a second.
Panain dulu, panain. Ini kalau mau ambil lagi, kalian.
So is it okay? No?
Yes,
Okay.
we can see.
Yes.
Okay, Dr.
Before
Mubarak.
I proceeding with that, I like to thank the committee, Yashnita, Narhama, and Nabila, and the moderator Nova Molodina, and other dignitaries who joined in this meeting. So, and most importantly, the students of various level, from undergraduate, postgraduate, and whatever, and other faculty members and professors of ITS. I'm very happy to meet you through this Zoom meet. It's an excellent opportunity to via the meeting in the online to share my experiences on how paper get published after the research. So research can talk by any expertise. So physics, chemist, mathematician, and biologist, they can work on various aspects, but ultimately they have to transfer into the scientific community through in a such an format. So that's what I'm going to consider in this meet. Yeah. So already Nabila's, moderator has mentioned about my profile. However, I can explain few. Along with my undergraduate PhD with microbiology and nanobiotechnology, I was in various other research positions, and my postdoctoral program at Incheon National University, Korea. And I'm visiting professor in Aerospace University and Incheon University, where I'm working on nanomaterial synthesis, and I also worked as a scientist in India. And also recently I'm guiding students from level of BTech, MTech, MSc and PhD programs. And also I'm holding a company, a startup company which called Al Sirat Labs. So through that, the transformation of research is not only of patent and publication and also product. So ultimate aim of doing research is to transform into any form like a paper, patent, or the product. So this is what I'm supposed to. So with this, I like to initiate with that with in the front of our moderator Mauladina. So what is the eligibility to talk about this getting published? So these are the journals which I associated as an editorial board under so editor, associate editor, editor-in-chief of various journals, with the capacity of that, I like to present what way I expect the paper. If you are the author, what way I expect from you to get it published in of the very renowned journals. So these are my editorial ships, and equally, this is an reviewership. So almost I'm handling this many journals to review what are the paper how is supposed to be and what they need. Scientific part of the work has been monitored. It's a kind of a gate work, the get checker. So by the way we can enhance the quality of the papers. So that the peer review is one of the important process is considered in order to publications. So I'm dealing mostly chemistry, physics, especially nanoscience and the biology. So observe this picture. It's one of the schematic diagram I recently observed in internet. So the person, the lady has sitting in front of computer and observe everything that is available in the picture. I explain about this picture at the end of the slide. Okay. Okay. So with this introduction about research, paper writing. So whatever the field you are in, that is, excuse me. Yeah. Okay. Whatever the field which are associated, either any biological sciences or physical sciences or chemical sciences, we get some good results. So that should be transformed into the publication by considering these are the guidelines, which are use of unique style of writing. So the thing is, you need not to be an expert in languages, but the way you observe the result that should be written in a unique way. That that is 90 percentage of your plagiarism can be reduced if you are writing in your own words. So don't think about the grammar and this thing at the beginning stage. Whatever observe the results, just write on the paper by your own words and your own language. Then it can be converted into appropriate form. That's what use a unique style of writing and have a clear understanding of the content. So what is the experiment we supposed to do? Okay, this is the experiment and the expected results like that. So everything should be understand before we proceeding that, and use the innovative ideas and ways to justify the research works. So how we can think that our results is innovative? Because most 80% of the articles is rejected because of the novelty. They simply say that the lack of novelty, the papers got rejected. So, so the innovation should be there in every steps of whatever we perform. Even already established methodology we perform, just to changing the altering some of the steps and mentioning that. So for instance I can say that the temperature for developing calcination temperature is about 500 degrees Celsius for 2 hours. Now you can alter 600 degrees Celsius for 1 hour. So what you say, check the results and say that is a modified protocol and the protocol is given by you. So it's a kind of a novelty. So this is how it should be justified. And the writing should be simple and avoid unnecessary jargons. So the simplest word makes other author can understand very easily and explain different scientific terminologies and provide the track of bibliography. So we should not always think that the readers can understand whatever we writing. So if we should not give any terminologies, so we to be explained then and there to understand much better, and strictly follow the specification of the approving and publishing authority. That is most important when you're submitting to the any journal. We should follow the specifications, like They have to need only 85 characters for writing the title. Then we should be write in such characters. You should not go 100, 150 like that. So these are the specification they always give. So the page numbers, only 10 pages only they expect. Short communications, they expect only 10 pages. You're supposed to give 10 pages. We should not give 20, 30 pages. And the bibliographic detail as well. So everything according to the approving and publishing authority, and develop in-depth knowledge of the subject. So the basic subject knowledge always be required when you are dealing with what is the results and how my results is innovative, novel and outstanding. So for that, you need to have the basic knowledge about it and thoroughly proofread from top to bottom of the research paper. So whenever we observe our paper, we could not find any mistakes. So you have to give your reliable friend so to check the proofreading of your content, and then you get it done for the publication purpose. This is the very major and introductory part of research paper writing. I always mention what is a novelty. So novelty, how it is? What is a novelty? It is the introduction of new, unused sources into scientific circulation with their subsequent analysis. So it's something new to science, the new to the that particular topic. It can be done, and also that should be proven by the analytical method, and that can be new interpretation of known sources. That is also be a novelty. So somebody has said this is an interpretation. So you can also interpret in a such other way that also becomes under novelty. And equally, by studying on the basis of known sources, the poorly understood aspect of the old knowledge. Some of the theories, physics theory, chemical reactions, are it's old and very poorly understood. So you can take those theories and you can work and then give a appropriate content. So that also makes your very novelty of the work. And so here, basically, better writing, you should have better writing skill. Importance of research paper writing is better writing skills and assistance from best experts, that is your peer or mentor or your professor. He or she might give the appropriate way how to proceed your results and experiment further in an effective manner, and effective use of all kind of resources. So you should not neglect anything. Whatever the facility, whatever the instruments available in your place, you can get use of all the stuff to make your result more reliable. And development of critical thinking. So you should not always think that my result is outstanding. You always comprehensively state. So what is the other has said about your material, about your process, and what you got the results, and just to compare how much is increased from the already published work. For instance, into 2020, the year 2020, someone has found is the production of particular enzymes this much, I mean 2 mg per ml. Now you got some amount, then just to compare what other got and what you got. That kind of a comprehensive statement that add value of your content more, value of your content. By the way, the collaboration play a vital role in terms of effective research and publications, because sometimes the biologist not expertise in physics theory, physics interpretation, likewise chemistry. So the chemistry person, background person, they not understand fully on the biological subjects. So by the way, when you collaborate each other to make biology and biochemistry and physics, everything together to make a outstanding piece of work for the good publications. So basically, these are the component always be there when you're writing a paper. So the title mostly they grab attention of the readers. The title itself, most of the reader they can attract it. So what is the title? So they work on enzyme, they work on the nanomaterial, they work on the reactions. So best the title itself, the people can be attracted. So by the way, the title should be short, not too lengthy, and very specific. So this is my reaction. This is a trans esterification reaction of lipids. So that is the specific, and how that should be interesting, and the particular title to convey the whole work, that is the main message should be conveyed by the title. And abstract, so abstract, that the abstract, I can say that the extract of the whole work. By the way, you have to convey what have done and how it is done and so what. So after that, what you got. So everything should be contained within 150 to 200 words. So that should be there. Every journal has the word limit, 100 words, 200 words. Some journals they request 200 to 300 words. So that should be considered. And the introduction and results and discussion. So in the here in this way, the reasonable broad read should be there, where we have to convey the background information and the previous work. So we always we think about the previous work, then only we can claim what is your present work is outstanding than the previously published one, and why it is important, and what is unknown from you out of your experiment is proven, and also your aim can be satisfied. So I can say that the graphical abstract. So percentage of the journal, they're requesting the graphical abstract. That take I can say the heart of the research article. Mostly RSC, SES, elsewhere, they're requesting the graphical abstract. By the graph itself, the conveying of entire experiment. So that's what the people say. Picture speaks thousand words. So see here the picture. So the the contaminated aerosol particle, it comes from the animals. When you inhale, the people get infected. The infected things will cause the disease. So everything is comes here. So that is the substract says this matters. Okay. So that's what the graphical preparing the graphical abstract, that is more added value of your publication. And the title, so that already we discussed, and the highlights. So highlights is a claim of your work. What way my work is improved. So that's why here we supposed to mention significant outcome rather than the summary of the work. Don't summarize the work. So I have taken this many sample, I have found like that. Don't give this. Give what you proved out of your experiment or what you disproved. You can say both. So previously some theories was there. Now out of your experiment you disprove that thing. So that again that is a highlight of your work. And you can also mention the novelty point and cost effectiveness point in the highlights. The highlights mostly 85 characters each bullet points. 2 to 3 bullet points we supposed to give for every journals. So that can be appear in the journals. And the most important thing is the keywords. So keyword we have to give for our own paper. Mostly 3 to 5 keywords they request. Okay, that will be separated by the semicolon. So that keywords should be very important is considered, that will increase the readership of your article. Sometime I am interested in a silver nanomaterial. I am working on that. So if someone is wanted to have the paper on silver nanomaterial, they can directly go there just to give a Google silver nanomaterial. So whatever I gave a keyword, that will be projected in the Google. So by the way, what is the thing? It will facilitate to increase the citation, and eventually your H index will be increased, and the IF value of the journal also be increased. So this is a collaborative effort that the keyword selection of keyword is more important. Your work can be highlighted and we and so this is very serious problem when we have our manuscript with the similarities with the plagiarisms. So whenever we submit to any journals, the plagiarism must be checked before the submission. The similarity indexes should be checked for every journal for the submission, and each journals they're requesting the percentage, different percentage. And there are so many softwares are available, Authenticate, Turnitin, Urgund, and so many other softwares are available. So in this is one of the report of the manuscript. In this report, it was 61 percentage was a similarity, and particularly the person, the author, who taken 24 percentage of the content from this one paper. That is very serious issue, and 10 percentage is from the this review, and 7 percentage. This is actually unsuitable for the submission. So the person should be reduced. This is unfit for the submission. And in other case,
Hai, masih lagi banyak.
so in other submission, here the similarity index is 23 percentage. So again he reduced. Now even it is unfit for submission because the 6 percentage of the content was retrieved from the particular journals, and this one is 3 percentage. It 23 is again is unfit. Now again they reduced the content is to 7 percentage, and they reduced from say 24 to 6, 6 to 2. So by the way, the percentage is it maybe the fit for the submission to the any journals. For research article that should be less than 5 percentage, and review article that less than 10% is ideal for any kind of publications. How we have to reduce the similarity? Because reducing similarity, that only best way is the rephrasing. You have to rephrase and changing the voice of the your statement sentences that may sustainably reduces the similarity indexes. Yes. So once your content is ready, then you have to be select the appropriate publishers to circulate your scientific stuff. So these are the very known publishers. They have a Science, Nature, Lancet, ACS, RSC, Willy, Elsewhere, Springer, Italian Francis, Bentham Science, and so many things for publishers are come up. They are working on conveying the, distributing the scientific knowledge to everyone. So all publishers they have dealing with all type of sciences, physical science, chemical science, biological science, mathematical. So every sciences are dealing with that. So I'm mostly associated with elsewhere. So I can give some example how we have to choose the appropriate journal for the same. And after choosing an appropriate publishers, these are the indexes, scientific quality indexes should be considered for the submission. So that can implies the quality of the journals, but not the quality of your work. This is it gives the quality of the journal. So Science Citation Index, that is SCI, Science Citation Index Expanded, that is ACIE, Web of Sciences, Scopus, ISI. So these are the different parameters or quality indexes they always keep for the journals. So some of the institute they expect SCI indexed journals, which means that the quality of the journal they will maintain the quality. So that's why we go highly with the SCI journals. So once the journal selection is over. But still we have a confusion. Which journal I supposed to select for my submission of my work? So this is selection of journal in elsewhere. We have elsewhere journal finder, one software. It is available in Google. Just to type elsewhere journal finder, like this journal finder. So you can get this page. You get this page and enter your title. So as such, you just to copy and paste your title and copy and paste your abstract here. If even you can give the keywords also. So what happened after that? So this kind of according based on your title, based on your abstract and keywords, the journals are suggesting you 50 journals that matching your paper. Okay, and that is based on the site score and time of the first decision. So how many weeks they will take to give a decisions. So 50 journals matching. Now I'm checking one of the journalists. Yes, this is one of the journal it is giving, that is trends in food science and technology. So I'm checking other what are the other information I can get. So this is a general page, and site score is 8.78. It's a very good score, and the impact factor is also 8.19, and it's keep increasing. So that this picture is showing that this is not a sustainable. It's keep increasing the impact factor. So it's a high value, and the acceptance rate is 33 percentage. So it's a good percentage to accept any good number of papers. And the decision, first decision, they take 12 weeks. Okay, almost 2 months will more than 2 months will take for the given decisions. And time to publication, once it's accepted, it take 5 weeks, almost a month time to take for the publications. So these are the, based on these information, I can choose this for my submission. We can choose this and then go for the portal for the submission. So based on the work, so I already mentioned the timeline, time for the decision, time for the publication. It is again is a tentative stuff that depends on the work and depends on the need of ours. Okay, so this is the one of my study. It is published in Microbial Pathogenesis, a preparation of ketone nanomaterial and for antimicrobial property. So this is my first authored paper. So see, this is when it is received is November 17. It is revised in November 22 and accepted in November 23. So this is at the time, almost 4 years before. It is the importance of the book. It is submission to publication. It take within a week time. Within a week time, November 17 to 73 is a big below 6 to 7 days. Is got accepted. So this kind of fast also be there, and equally the another journal 11 it is received, and 28 and 29 is accepted. Total submission to publication take less than 3 weeks, less than a month it can get the article. And this journal, this is submitted 28 and accepted in March. Almost more than 2 months time it is taken. So because of the work, because they're dealing with the virus, they have to find a appropriate peer review, the reviewers. So then only they give a appropriate comments to add a value of your publications. So how we have to choose the reviewer? So every work, it depends on the reviewer comments. So if the reviewer within less than a week, the content is fine, but the reviewer has to approve this submission. Otherwise, it cannot get within a week time of publication, and equally 3 weeks and 2 months. So reviewers should be outstanding. That should be expertise in a particular field. How we have to show up that our expertise into the scientific world? We have to make our researcher profile and ID have to maintain in a good sense. So by the way, what we can get, link all of your publication together. So whatever I have to publish, I have to link in the researcher profile and ID. So group any variation under which you have published. So the system itself, they can segregate, okay, based on my keywords, I can be allotted. So how the editor choosing the reviewers? So based on the keywords, what work he often doing, okay, differentiate between authors with a similar names. So for instance, some of the names are very frequent. For instance, I can say that Nabila. Okay, the same Nabila will be there in ITS. One more Nabila. How we can differentiate this Nabila? So by the way, there are publication and keywords that make you some differences. They give some ID number. Based on that ID number, the person can be varied. That's what differentiate the authors with the similar names and improve the researcher impact. One person have do outstanding researches, one person can do very poor in research. So how we can notify which author is doing best and who is doing none. So that can be differentiated using the researcher profile. And combine this the fact the different database have been developed. So there are so many other things out there, which is RC, that is open researchers ID, Scopus author identifier, Web of Science researcher ID, Google Scholar citation profile, Microsoft academic research. There are so many academia, so many identifiers are there. In order to understand who is the actual person, what is their research, how we can identify uh, in the web. So that is the matters. There's a variety of different sites that allow you to create to maintain the academic profile. It's as simple as that of what we do in Facebook, what we do in Instagram, what we do in LinkedIn. The same way we have to upload our scientific profiling. How we upload in Facebook some good pictures, some good words we do add. The same way we have to add some good papers, good scientific profiles should be uploaded. So Web of Science covers approximately 12,000 journals in the area of science, social sciences, arts, humanities, and proceedings for over 120,000 conferences. It contains around 40 million records over the period 1900 to present. They have maintained this much record of Web of Sciences. The another thing is journal impact factor. Some of the academicians societies, they always mention journal impact factor. The impact factor is what I mentioned, journal impact factor. This is that impact factor no more helpful for your work. That impact factor not reply implies your research, not reflect your outstanding contributions. Okay, this impact factor is for the journal. How much good number of papers they published, how many times is cited by the other authors. That's what the general impact factor says. So JIF is a measure of frequency with the average article in a journal has been cited in a particular year. So in 2020, how many articles they cited frequently? So which means that that particular paper that created some impact in the particular year. That's why we called as an impact factor. That paper is a factor that created the impact. Okay, so I can convey it in the best way. This is the impact factor. So how I get the value? Total number of times its article is cited during the two previous years, last 2 years. So now it is 2021. Last 2 years means 2019, 2020. Okay, 2020 is then my last 2 years. So I have to take that value divided by total number of citable articles in a journal during those 2 years. So total number of times article is cited, maybe 1,000 times maybe cited or 2,000 times cited. But now one particular paper has been cited is more number of times. one author has published some novel studies that is uh, more impactable and outstanding. So every scientist all over the world, they are looking for what is that and for, to understand the concept of the same, they have to read, they have to cite their articles. That's what the total number of citable articles in the journal during the last 2 years. So it gives the general impact factor for the particular year. So every year the Clarivate and Thomson and Reuters, they divide, they're making this kind of analytics, and then they publish in every June to July month of every journal's impact factor may be raised or decreased, and that can be maintained. Either it is, if it is a 1, sometimes it became 2, or 1 became 1.1, or 1, or 0.8, like that. The variation may be there because of the how many submissions were over there. So I give you an example. Say, third article cited in 2018 and 2019 is a 30. So total number of times the articles were cited during the last 2 years. So last 2 years, 30 article is cited. Okay, cited by the other journals, other papers. And total number of citable article among 30, 10 article is cited more frequently. Other 20 are cited, but not last 2 years are not cited very frequent. So total number of citable article is 10. So my impact factor value is 3. So that is a 2020 impact factor is like that. If I'm seeing 2020 first impact factor, I have to see 2019 and 2020 for the same. So this is how the impact factor is calculated for every journals. And again, I tell you, impact factor is for the journal, not either for the author or the articles. It's not you and your performances, it's for the journal. So not only impact factor, there are other factors also be considered for in order to take the journal is the indexed one, or scientifically is valuable, or site score, SNIP, and general SciMago in general ranking, site score. So there are so many ranking systems also be there for consideration. And maybe you can think that, so this is the one I mentioned, IF is not, is for the journal, not for the authors of your work. Then what is for authors? What is for my work? Is there any indexes for my work? Is the indexes for my scientific accomplishment? Yes, that is the H index. Okay, the H index that represent both productivity and the impact of the particular scientist or scholar or student or group of scientists. This index was proposed by the name called Mrs. George Harish. George Harish, he found that so this H index is provided to the scientists who accomplished this one, who developed this concept. The H index is calculated by counting the number of publications for which scientist has been cited by the other authors, not by the own authors, at least at the same number of times. For instance, the H index of the 17 means the scientist has published at least 17 papers that have each been cited by the 17 times. The H index remain at 17. If the scientist 18 most cited publication was cited 18 or more time, the H index would be raised to 18. So this is very complicated, might be. I can show you in the schematic way. See, H index, I have published 4 articles. Okay, article 1, article 2, article 3, article 4. Each year have in the 2010 article 1 I published. In 11 I published 2 papers, article 2 and 3, and 12 I have published only 1 paper. But the 10 paper it got 7 citations. This person is from any country, or this is each person from the different countries. Okay, 7. So 7 person is cited the article 1. So my citation is 7. Article 2 cited by the 5%. 5% are cited, so it's a 5. And third one is 3% is cited, so it's a 3. And fourth article is cited by 3% only. But the article is 4, but the citation is 3. C is 3. So my citation is how much? Cumulative citation is 18. So that is okay. But the total number of papers, so in the particular persons, 3 papers is 3% is cited 3 articles. Okay, but the fourth article should be 4th person should be cited. That's what the definition says. 17 papers have been cited at least 17 times. So 4 article at least cited by the 4 times. Okay, but only the 4th article cited only 3 times only. So we have to need one more stuff in order to get. So how I calculate? Now the H index is 3. So 4. However, I published 4 articles. Only H index I got 3 because my 4th article is not 4 times is cited. Okay. So I need one more citation in order to increase my H index is 4. And this year I submit, this guy submitted article 5. The article 5 should be cited by the 5 times, then only my H index will be 5. So it will be neglected. So only we consider this. And what about this 3 citation? This is not included. What is the value of getting this 3 value? For that, there will be indexes called G indexes. So G index was proposed by the Leo again. This is the citation, references as an improvement on the H indexes. The G index is calculated based on the distribution of citation received by the given researcher publication, the given set of articles. So I can give you like that, the advantages of G index, the account for performance of authors' top articles, helps to make more apparent and different between authors and respective impacts. The value of G index helps to give the credit to lowly cited. That is more important. It gives the credit to lowly cited or non-cited paper while giving the credit for highly cited papers. Because this paper, when compared with Article 4 and 1, this is highly cited. And this is only three times cited. But this is not included in H index. But in G index, we also include how. So the same diagram I'm showed here. So article 1 is 7, 2 is 5, 3 and 4 is here. So I'm calculating all the cumulative citations. How much 7, 5, 3 is 18. Total number of publication is 4. So 18 divided by 4 is equal to 4.5. So in H index it was 3, but in G index it is 4.5. So by the way, we are increasing the value of the authors for performing. So this is the H index, G index only talking about the profile of the researchers, but the impact factor is talking about the profile of the journals. So in this connection, this is my Google Scholar page. My cumulative citation is 4,572 and the total number of papers is 89. So one of the papers got 870. Okay, so when I'm calculating this, the H index is 28. Okay, but when I'm doing G index, it is 51.37. So it is give a good value. So that's why I'm neglecting stuff to be included in the G indexes. So apart from that, how I can enhance my scientific profile to the world? So I'm doing at my place. So how the other researcher in worldwide that recognize me? So these are the scientific social medias are available. So people are always attached with Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, other stuff. But these are the other social medias also be there to in order to transfer their knowledges. Is first thing is Orchid, Bubblons, Loop, Scopus, Google Scholar, Mentally, ResearchGate, Academia, Live DNA, LinkedIn. So the ResearchGate is one of the best one I can consider because it's easily can communicate. It almost usages as like a Facebook. The usage is as like a say Facebook. We can upload your thought. If you have any question in your mind, even the question sessions. After the talk, we might have a question session. Sometimes we don't have that question at the particular point of time. But here you can, whenever you have a doubt on particular topic, you can put your question. Then any of the scientists in the world they can respond based on the question. Is a very wonderful social media. Everyone, I encourage all the participants to enroll you in the research gate. We say RG shortly. So that gives an enormous helpfulness for your research career. So this is how the schematic representation of the paper submission to the decision. So now you have found the good journal, and then work has been done and submission. So the author developed a manuscript. Now through this submission portal, we have the different portal systems that we call EVS, electronic submissions, editorial manager, manuscript central. There are so many online portals are there to submit to the journal manager. We are not directly submitting to the editors. That journal manager will look, okay, what is the submission is. Then he will check the technically everything is correct, whether the page number is correctly numbered, line number, line spacing, and page limit, figures, everything the general manager will they check. So after the technical check, if anything is late or anything is misleaded or the reference is not correctly cited, then what they do, the technical issue is there, then again they send back to the authors. Okay, do these corrections, do these changes. Likewise, they will check and then send back to the authors. Again, the author have been notified. Then again, they have to change in the manuscript, and again they have to submit. So this is the flow again. So if the technical issue is passed, okay, everything is okay. Now it will come to the editor of chief or editor, associate editors too. Then what editor will do? Editor will find a appropriate reviewers, reviewer one or two. So more than two reviewers also be there. So reviewer, they are the expertise of the particular field. Okay, and review they will make a report. They will recommend either it is a revision or accept or reject. So any of the decision they can make. Then based on that, they will send to the editors. They again send to the, after making the report, they send to the editors. Now the editor will see, and whether it is a revision, they will send back to the authors, or accept is sent to the publishers, or reject. And final decisions, then once all is done, he will submit to the editor. The editor make a final decision as either he accept or reject, or he can transfer to the any other journals. So this is a schematic workflow we are following. So this is very funny way I can express this one. I think it's in South Indian actor. One person, actually author, a reviewer, editor. So they are not born authors. They are not born reviewers. So every editors once upon a time he was a reviewer. Every reviewer once upon a time an author, and the author is must be a reader. First, I read the articles, so I conceive any ideas, I execute them, and then I write an article. So I became an author. Now I'm get a position to evaluate the others' paper. I became a reviewer, and when I'm giving adjudging your papers, I became editor. So one person can act any of the role based on the the role is given. So when I'm submission is like this, and reviewer is always peer reviewers. They always finding a fault. What is the fault is there, and what is the scientific likeness? Everything should be considered. And editor always make a decision whether it is wrong or right. And what is the response to the reviewers? So once they make a reject or revisions, if the responses comments to the reviewers, if author agreeing, mostly agreeing the reviewer's comment. Sometimes the reviewer make appropriate comments. Okay, this should the unit should not be like this. You change the units. You change this sentence. You change this word because he knows well than you. So that's why he may be given. At the time, you have to agree the reviewers and then revise the manuscript. Sometimes some authors are have the conflict with the reviewers. They will not understand the concept. They will they make issues. Okay, they come. This is not answered. Unanswered the question. They make some issues. So what happened? It comes to the editor again. Either it is accept or it will be rejected. So how the reaction will be? So based on the comments to the editor, that makes you well about it. So journal editors reject anywhere between 6 to 60% of submitted manuscript at the initial screening itself. One study found that on average, 21% of submissions are rejected during the initial reviews. So initial review itself, 20% of the article is rejected, and the after rejection is based on the unanswered. You are not properly answering during the revisions. So these are the duties of editors, reviewers, and authors. So editors mostly they're looking for publication decision, fair play, confidentiality, and disclosure and conflict of interest. So the authors reporting the standards, data access, originality, and checking the plagiarism. They should not be copy from any other places, and multiple redundant content. Acknowledgement of the source. If your work is funded by any agency, funding agency, you should give acknowledgement properly, and also authorship. Who contributed a lot? That may be the first author, and your mentor or peer will be the corresponding author. And equally, some persons are 50% are equally contributed. Then you have to notify that it's a equally contributed, and according based on the performances we have to give the number of authors and the position of the authors. But the reviewers, the role is contribution to the editorial decision, because based on his comment only he make a decision. Based on his work, based on his comment, the editor make the decision, and they can make the promptness. So they have to produce on time, and they have to maintain the confidentiality, and disclose and conflict of the interest also be they maintain in the reviewers. So what the reviewers do? What is the peer review process? So what are the general editor they are actually looking for? So when I receive any paper, I must feel very good wow factor. So just a subject theme should be very unique and give some solution to the problem and fundamental issues, and should have at least one single novelty that shows the originality of their work and clarity of the presentation. It should not be very clumsy. The clarity and figures quality, everything should be good. And value of practical research and theoretical implications should be there whenever observed in your manuscript. And when you are writing the letter to the editor, that mainly makes your getting a chance to speak to the editor directly. So you're writing letter, that letter will be read by uh, your editors. Okay, and the mention what they make manuscript special to the journals. So some of the journals are very particular. So what way it is very special to that particular journal. And this cover letter provides a chance of author to pursue the editor form of this letter very prompt way. So what actually the advices is received from the editors mostly, they send to the wrong journals. That's the mainly that occurring. So whenever we writing an article, we always see the journal finder or go to the scope of the journal and whether my work is relevant to the journal. Accordingly, we have to find out. For instance, if you have worked with some chemical reactions that you are submitting to the any biology journal, aquatic biology. So that is irrelevant. So the aquatic biology is something dealing with the aquatic forms, that not dealing with the chemical reactions. So we have to choose correct journal. So that is the most of the authors they fail to do that. That if you are doing that, this can be frustrating to the editor, and then automatically they will reject it. So they give a major revisions. Sometimes they give editors they give major revision and minor revisions. The revision have two sets. So major revisions believe that your article contains information of potential importance and number of major issues are raised. So they are willing to have your paper published, but there are major issues are there in your submission. That's why they give a major revision. The minor things that they found your material potentially acceptable form, and publication provides some minor adjustments. Sometimes the organism name. So for E. code, Escherichia coli, that should be italicized. This is a minor revision. This is minor issues. So that should be considered. So there are three key reasons for recommending an article is manuscript considered timely and relevant to the current problem. Okay, some article recent is on COVID-19, so that is more relevant, and it's talking about the current issues. The manuscript considered well written, logical, and easily comprehend. So it is very comparative, comprehensively. It's reported and well written article, and logically it is discussed. That will be a good for recommending article. And finally, the study was well designed and had appropriate methodology. So for amplification of thing, you any DNA or something you have properly done with the PCR and then gel electrophoresis and gene sequencing. So it's an appropriate methodology. Suddenly you are doing some protein work that not makes any sense. So these are the way we have to the key point of recommending your articles. So as an editor point of view, as soon as submission, we be patient after the submission. You should not expect a within a day your decision will come. Be patient for after submission and read gate to authors very carefully, because each and every journals are differs in format. So they will expect the title should be like this. So you should make like such a way. So you should not exaggerate, or you should not give a larger thing. So read the gate to authors very carefully, and may figures and tables are more attractive. So they are they also be scientists. We understand the thing is very clearly. Then the high possibility of get your paper get into the next process, and prepare the reference according to the general format. Write in your own way to avoid the plagiarism. That is very important. If you are writing in your what you observe, you should not replicate that what others are thinking. Just write your point of view and avoid the redundancy and blunder mistakes, like mentioning the wrong units for any values. So this should be avoided. And authorship issue should be avoided at the initial stage. So at the beginning you are submitted with your name, but it is equally contributed by your friend. So you should be clear. So equally contributed, who will be the first author, who will be the second author. After publication, you are bringing this issue to the editor, then your paper will be retracted. That the black mark will be there for your your paper and also your corresponding author. So the authorship issue should not be there. And don't canvas and influence the reviewers or editors. Sometimes the authors might suggest 3 or 4 reviewers for the reviewer stuff. So you should not canvass it. So my paper is coming, please do my needful, check my paper. Like that, you don't should not canvass that. So these are the way that editor or do expect. So to understand the detail, more detail on the on elsewhere based journal submission and other stuff, they're conducting some orientation online. So just visit www.researcheracademy.elsewhere.com. So here it is unlock your research potential. They have 5 different modules. See, research preparation, writing for research, publication process, navigating peer review, communicating your research. So these 5 module will be there, and each model have different hours. So this one, research preparation, they have fundamentals of peer review. They have part 17 1.7 hours. So each varies, and this one is 1 hour. This is also 1 hour. Is a 1 hour video lecture and followed by a for thing you have to log in. So I just logged in here with my name, and I see in the research preparation there will be funding option. What are the funding? How we have to mention the fundings, research collaboration, writing the research, how what are the style should be followed, how the references should be taken up. So everything will be there. So as soon as you are completing each modules, okay. For instance, the fundamentals of manuscript. So fundamentals of manuscript, this is the one. When I clicking this, I get this one. So this is 2+ hours total time, 2 hours of thing. It will be in English language. So in the particular heading, there will be 4 different process of modules. One module is on fundamentals of manuscript preparation, and there are 4 modules. So as soon as I complete all 4 modules, I get certificates. Immediately I can receive certificates of I have completed this one. So I have done it this one. So this is certificate I can receive from the elsewhere that I have been trained to submit an article, submit preparing the manuscript. So this is how we get from the elsewhere managing factor. So again, so this is the one peer review process. So in this way, the mostly our paper get rejected or accepted. So this flow already I mentioned. Author submit the article accessed by the technical person or editor. Either it is be revised or be rejected. So he will send to the reviewers, and we get the review assessed by the editor, either rejected or the accepted. Once it's accepted, it goes for production and the publications. So the peer review process is more important. The peer review is an evaluation process in which the expert critique the work of individual or group of the scientists seeking the recognition, publication of the material or the funding source. So peer review should always be done for any of the material. This is the one of the gatekeeper, and it's not a perfect process, but is one of the best way that can ensuring the quality and originality of the work, originality of the paper. If I'm expertise in nanobiotechnology, if I'm getting any nanobiotechnology paper, I can realize that this is what is a wrong, what is a thing can be done, what is the improvisation can be done, what they should not be done. I can give that as an comments. If the same nanobiotechnology paper goes to any other persons, so he will not give any appropriate comments. So peer review process is very important when considered. So main objective of the peer review process is that 2 key functions act as a filter. Initially they will filter up all the papers and improve the quality. The first thing, ensure the research is properly verified before being published. Some of the experiments is wrongly done. some of the experiment is not reproducible. So the initial filter itself, they do rejected and improve the quality of the research. So by the way, the rigorous review by other experts that helps to keep point to correct the inadvertent errors, validate the confirmation of the researcher's work. So these are the different types of peer reviews. So journal articles, conference proceedings, book manuscript, grant proposals, teaching portfolio, promotion decisions, and program accreditation. So for everything, we have a peer reviews. So we do for research articles, conference proceedings, and book manuscripts. So how they do the peer review? One is single blinded and another is a double blind. What is single blind? The author, they don't know who is reviewing my paper. So some of the experts are reviewing my papers. That is called single blind. So most of the journal they follow the single blind. Okay, but the reviewer knows who is the author. Author they knows who is the reviewer. They don't know who is the reviewers, but the reviewers knows who is author. But double blind in vice versa. Even the author also don't know who is the reviewer, and reviewer also don't know who is the author. Double blind. So these kind of double blind review very important, and then very meager amount of journal they following the double blinded one. So this is the same access how they making recommendations. So the review process, first they do pre-screening is the manuscript within the scope of the journal, identification of the review appropriate reviewers, and they will always have 2 or 3 reviewers comments. So how I choose, this is how I handle this one other journal page. So this is an article submitted. So I check who actually the system itself is suggesting some of the reviewers based on their H index and similar work and then country. So already I mentioned you what is H index. So H index will give you the performance rate of your of the particular persons. Okay. So I'm taking this. So the best review report, how it should be. The lack, they will always give a comments as like lack of clarity in writing or presentation. Logic of argument is unclear. Author is unaware of relevant existing work. If you not understand the existing work, then how come you write in a proper way? And author misinterpret the existing results. Sometimes the interpretation is not appropriate, and the paper will be rejected, and the data is not convincing and flawed, and contribution to theory research practice is not up to the mark. So what the advice the editors give to their reviewers? So I give advice to the reviewers is be critical. So you should not biased, be critical and read the abstract first to see if there are authors are stating the making logical sense in the abstract itself. They are giving the entire contribution of the work. If the observation made, I mean the data you're given is very appropriate, and examine the tables and figures and look see if the statistically analyzed, because only giving data that not makes any sense. So we have to statistically analyze the report and examine the method, make sure that the author knew or what they were doing in the particular context. And recommendation of the reviewers. So rejected due to the poor quality or out of scope. How they do recommend? Either they can accept without revision, accept but need revision, and there are so many other forms of the whether what is the originality, what is the languages, and whether the figures are properly cited and tables are properly cited or prepared. So these are the sample peer review form also be given during our review process. So this is surviving a peer review. When we are preparing any manuscript as an author, we always be think that how the reviewer or look after our papers. That's what put yourself in a reviewer shoe. If I'm the reviewer, how I see this paper, whether these things are there, whether my critically commented, critically interpreted, or all the figures are cited inside both and reference are cited in both text and list. So everything should be consumed. So that's what they're saying, that put yourself, authors, in the reviewer shoes. How you react when you became a reviewer. So that's what we're supposed to do. So what leads to acceptance? So what very least thing my paper get accepted, getting published. So attention to details of check and double check of your consider the reviewer comments. So once giving reviewers are pure or expertise, when they give a comments, it's for betterment of your article. So when it comes to the science society, the many people will fire on you if you are giving very wrong results. So we have to double check whether all the comments were and answered, and English must be good as possible, because the science being communicated in English language through now. So some of the regional languages are available, but English is most important that can communicate your scientific stuff. And presentation is very important. Take your time with revisions, because sometimes they give 2 weeks, 2 months time for the revision. Take whole time. It's not necessary to submit within 2 days or 3 days. Take your own time. Even if you want time, you can request the editors. Sometimes what happen, the authors may be provided with 1 month time for the revisions. Okay, so any some issues or natural calamity or any issues are comes in, then you can request the editor to extend the revision due time. That is possible. Even many of the authors are requesting me to extend the authors, extend the deadline. I have done in my experience, one person from, I forgot the place, but she taken almost a year time for revision. So that is a major one. January, then against she requested 3 months, again she recorded 3 months, almost 1 year she taken for the revision, and have done very excellent revision and also published the paper. And acknowledge those have helped you. Okay, so you should not neglect any person. If they are really contributed for your work, you have to give authorship. If not, they helped you, then you have to give an acknowledgement even for the funding sources. And also you should always give a new original and previously unpublished paper, and also critically evaluate your own manuscript. So this is my manuscript. Mostly we cannot find a fault and flaws in our own manuscript, but we always think that is someone's paper. We always think very critical manner. So thing is, so submit to the right journal. Should not okay, this is not rejected, I can submit immediately to the other journal. You should not like that. You should be very critical and also the right journal, and submit to the one journal at the time. You should not submit more than one journal. One journal if rejected, then you have to go for it with the other journal, but should not simultaneously submit two different journals. And do not submit salami articles. So this is very interesting stuff. Salami articles. What is salami article? Which means, so one experiment you have done and got some data, then writing the paper. You have checked the effect of pH, effect of temperature, effect of salt concentration. Okay. So now what you're doing is, I'm taking effect of pH alone, and effect of temperature and effect of salt concentration alone, and submit, making the paper into two single experiment. Okay, and the data I'm splicing, that is we splicing and submit to two different paper journals, that we call salami article. So that we should not do, because that makes high level of plagiarism stuff. And also pay attention to journal requirement. So what they actually needs. If you are preparing any chemical structures, then you should use chemdra, and then the bonding, everything should be very appropriately clear. And double check always the languages. Pay attention for ethical standards. If you are using any animals, if you are using any unconsented one, so you have to be think about the ethical standard. And always ask your colleague to prove your read your article. And then, because as I mentioned before, if you are looking for our own article, we could not find any mistakes. So that's why we are looking for our friend, our colleagues, to check our article proofreading. So if any mistakes comes, then it will be rectified before submission. And be a critical for our self critical in order to adjust your work. So I come to the end of this main presentation. This is a take-home message for you. So whenever you write any article to be getting published, so thing is you have to read, read articles. So if you are working on particular topic, you have to read many articles. So what has been done 10 years before? What is been done last 1 year? What is done today? So everything is nowadays is available. So read n number of times and many number of articles and write. So one whatever the explanation results you are coming, you have to write. What is the methodology? What methodology I varied? Either a temperature is varied or amount of volume is varied. So everything you have to write the concept of your results and analyze. Once we get the report, how to analyze properly with a good sense of interpretation skill and analyze the data for the appropriate one and interpret by your own way. So this is my analysis. So I got this result. Previously they got like a way. So interpret by your own way. So it's not the replica of your how the other authors has been done. So what is your opinion of these results? Okay, and consolidate together and publish it. Okay, so this is what I wanted to convey to you. And the thing is, I already mentioned this picture. So this picture, what when you became a researcher or when you are getting your paper getting published, and what are the things should be considered. So in this picture, I could see the timeline. So see the date, the calendar, they are making this many days is left over. So within the time period, timeline, we have to complete. So that's what they have mentioned. So 7 days is over. 1 to 7 days was marked. So time and days is over. You have only almost 22 days left over for to complete this work and time. So it should be all the time should not be packed with this one. Have to be considered about that time as well. And see, it will be multifaceted. They are checking the data and also interpretation is over, and then he is writing. She is writing whatever the results. She is not just the copying. She is interpreting the results, and also should have appropriate food stuff during your writing. So that's why you keep you warm and then you're writing your stuff very clear. So this is what I wanted to convey. You have to be multifaceted. Only writing, only doing experiment will not be get published. Only reading article, that will not be work out. Only I'm best in interpretation, that will not work out. I'm good in English, that will not work out. So one the person who doing all the thing in a sustainable manner, that makes you are getting published very short duration of time. They have to produce the experimental results or data. They have to analyze. They have to interpret it and then write in your own way, and then they consolidate it for the submission. So all together you have to be a multi potential when are to get and published. So with this, my research work, so I'm also running a startup company, Al Shirat Lab Private Limited here. So we are offering many experimentations and consultancy for the manuscript writing. I'm giving training to the manuscript writing and choosing appropriate journals and also getting thing through online as well. And this is my lab. Cultural collections and the product developed out of my company. So these are the viable bio products have been developed through our research. Is an alkyl tablet and then liquid fertilizer and carbon nanomaterials. And these are some of the interesting studies were observed on our recent labs, antimicrobials and then pigmentations of various stuff. So we are proceeding for further exploring the activity of all this stuff. So this is my recent attainment, and also recently 1492 Indians were featured in top two scientists that is published by Stanford University. So recently we got my name also be ranked as in top two scientist worldwide. That is being published by Stanford University USA in elsewhere journals. So I just sharing my happiness with you guys. Thank you. Have any question, I'm happy to answer.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Mubarak Ali. That's very great presentation, very comprehensive presentation about how to get published in our research. And today, actually, this is more from the time. But it's okay. But I think we that's very complete presentation. Maybe there's no question from the participant. Okay, now we going to the next session is Q&A session. Are there any question from the participants about how to get published? We still have about how many minutes, Bu Dewi? Maybe 10 minutes for Q&A.
Who wants to directly asking Dr. Mubarak Ali, please do
Yes.
raise the hands in the reaction menu.
Yes.
Are there any question from participants? Maybe you can.
So the participant can get my mail ID from Nabila or someone. If you have any question, you can ping me by email. I'm happy to your paper get published.
Yes, that's very interesting, Dr. Mubarak. And you tell about how to get published is the the important thing. The most important thing is collaboration. Collaboration is very play a vital role to get published, and we hope we can have a collaboration next time, Dr. Mubarak. And I am my research is about in biology and aquaculture. Maybe someday we can get collaboration, Doctor.
Yeah, I'm happy to.
Yeah. From the link, there's no question from the participants. Maybe as sorry, no question, Bu Devi from Google Scholar. I mean from the Google form. Maybe I will ask one question before we closing. Sometimes the the thing that we cannot publish is sometimes about the journal because of the what is it? We have to spend a lot of money to get published. What do you think about that, Dr. Mubarak?
Can you repeat your question? Sorry.
Yeah, because some of the journal, the requirement is have to spend some money, a lot of money. We have to pay to the journal, so we have to pay to get published. So what do you think about that, Doctor?
Yeah. That is, you should be very clear about the predatory journal and open access journal. The predatory journals are requesting the money for the publications, but open access is something different. When all subscription mode, if I'm subscribed some journals, so I have to give a free of charge. So we have to pay some for the journals. That is a open access, not a pay and get published. This is difference. If I give a money and publishing is different, and give a subscription free. Everyone can access your article. By the way, the index H index will be raised. So some of the publisher, they're requesting for the open access charges, and most of the journals also they waiving off. You have to write a letter to the publisher. So I'm from this low income country, so I need a waiver of. So you have in the cover letter, you have to write a letter and a statement that you are coming from low income country. So you need a waiver of 100% waiver. So the editor or publisher, they will consult, and then they will not charge you any money for the open access. So you have to write a
Okay.
letter.
Okay. Thank you very much, Doctor. There are one question from participant from Muhammad Fajar. Actually, you have explained about this, but maybe a little bit explain what is mean for the don't submit salami article. Maybe a little explain about this. What is the mean for don't submit salami article? Actually,
I did not see any questions. Where I can see questions?
Oh, the question is from Google Sheet.
Oh, Google Sheet.
Yeah, we
Yes.
open a question through Google Form. So I think that's from the Google Form that we sent to the participant today.
Okay. How can I access that?
I will send the link to you.
Just by clicking the link.
Sorry.
You can copy the
I send
question.
it on the chat, please. Question science. Did you receive the chat in the Zoom, Doctor?
So maybe you can read the question. I can able to answer that.
Okay. The question is what the means of don't submit salami article?
Salami article.
Yes, salami article.
Okay. So salami article is that I'm doing some experiment. Okay. For instance, I can go with Mauladina or research work aquaculture. So I'm checking some particular part of a fish reacting some how heavy metals, how the high salinity will play a role on the particular fish, some aquatic forms. So these are the different data. But in my particular work, I'm taking only the heavy metals alone. That is one paper. The same fish with the high salinity is one another paper. So this is, we are making slicing. We are making slice of different work and then publishing this. That is called salami article. By the way, what happened? The plagiarism percent will be increased because we keep on mentioning the same methodology. Okay, I collected from this fish. I collected this one. So this will be replicated in both the stuff. So it will be varied. So that's what we call this a salami article.
Okay, Doctor, thank you. How about Muhammad Fajar? Is it enough explain? Okay. Are there any questions?
Any other question?
Maybe participant who want to ask question. I think your presentation very, very comprehensive and complete. So there's no question. Oh yeah.
Oh.
Okay, thank you, Muhammad Fajar.
Very long presentation.
No, that's very complete.
Very
That's
complete
very,
one.
Yeah, very inspiring, insightful. Okay, I think there's no question anymore. If all the participant wants to ask about this lecturer, maybe can directly send email to Dr. Mubarak Ali. Is it okay, Doctor? Okay.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity, and Nabila for contacting me all the time, and then Devi Sartika and Mauladina for excellent moderation. and all the students who have actively participated. I'm also happy to give some more talks if you wanted any particular thing on any biology based or any nanotechnology based. I'm happy to provide some more lectures for the benefit of IPS students. Yes, I maybe Nabila can share my personal. I can also share my mail ID in the Google. Sorry, in the Zoom.
Yes.
And I can check my everyone in the meeting. Yes. So that's mubinano@gmail.com is my mail ID. So you can contact me. You can ping me. I can respond to you for any kind of help if you want. I'm happy to help.
Thank
Okay.
you so much.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Thank
much.
you very much, Dr. Mubarak Ali. Okay, before we closing, I
Yes,
will I will give the resume of this lecturer. But I think this is not the resume, but the last message, take home message from Dr. Mubarak Ali. So for the all participants, don't forget to read the article and then write concept and analyze data, interpret by your own way and consolidate together. So hopefully after we joining this occasion, we have already have a lot of knowledge about how to get published. We all of the students and all of the participants get successfully get published in their research. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Mubarak Ali again, and then thank you
okay, thank you so
also
much.
Mbak Dewi Sartika, Mbak Nabila, and Mbak Yasinta for my time for to be moderator today. Thank you very much. And sorry if there are inconvenience in this moderation, and sorry if I have some mistake. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Dr. Mubarak Ali Dawood Pasha, for the inspiring lecture today. And thank you, Ms. Nova Maulidina, for conducting this amazing session. Please give applause to our inspiring speaker and amazing moderator by using the Zoom action feature for today's empowering session. Now, as a token of appreciation, I would like to present a certificate for our honorable speaker and moderator. So this is the certificate for Dr. Mubarak Ali Dawood Pasha as our gratitude for today's session. Thank you, Doctor, for your availability today in providing the lecture session on getting published.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And then for the next certificate will be presented for Mr. Nova Maulidina Ashuri, MSI, for being our moderator today. Thank you very much, Ms. Nova, for your availability today and conducting the session.
Thank you.
Now, before we part, I would like to inform you that we have agenda. This is the agenda from Academic Writing Center, from ITS Academic Writing Center, which is Virtual Writing Bootcamp. As you see that it will be start on the 2nd of December until 22nd of January, and the registration deadline is in the 1st December 2021. And then it's for ITS postgraduate student, of course. And then this is the link that you can see. You can also follow the ITS Writing Center as well, which is, I think this is very, it will be very useful for you guys. Okay, so this is the next recipe for science stream. It will be on 9 December 2021, and it will be about presentation skill, and then by Professor Romulo G.R. Makadangdang from Far Eastern University. Okay, you can see the RTSEP program for the upcoming. You can see on the ITS Global Engagement website as well. Okay, now before we end the session today, I would like to invite all participants along with the speaker and also the moderator to take a group photo. To all participants, please turn on your camera. Okay, Dr. Mubarak Ali, could you turn on your camera, please?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, I will wait. So there will be like there will be around 4 slides. So bear with me. I will make a countdown and then I will take your picture one slide by slide. Okay, ready? Okay, 3, 2, 1, cheers. Okay, that's for the first slide. Please wait for a second. I will make a copy of it. Okay, next one, second slide. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Smile. Thank you. Now let's move on to the third slide. 3, 2, 1. Cheers. Thank you, guys. So the last one. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Cheers. Thank you very much for your cooperation today. Now that we have finished the group photo, I would like to remind all participants to fill the feedback form provided in the Zoom chat room. The participant who will get stamped for it, it is the participant who comes on time during the event and until the end, and also fill the feedback form. Finally, we have reached the end of today's session, and we sincerely apologize for any inconvenience during the session from me as the Master of Ceremony and also from the committee. We will see you again on the upcoming session. Once again, thank you everyone for joining the session. Thank you, the speaker, and also the moderator for the inspiring session. Good evening, stay safe, stay healthy, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye, see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mubarak. Thank you, Bu Nova.
Bu Nova, Dr. Mubarak. Thank you.
Mbak Deni, Mbak Yasinta.
See you next time.
I will end the sessions in the count of 3. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye.